Hi guys, good evening all of you. Welcome to Cynthia IS. Cynthia IS is one of the most recommended and top-notch institute in India under the guidance of Mr. SPSitarehind. Today I am going to take a lecture which is most important factor in GS Ethics 4 paper, John Rawls theory. John Rawls theory is a distinguished lecture to understand all the student. So please be quiet and listen every statement what I am going to deliver today. So let's begin. John Rawls. John Rawls theory. What is John Rawls theory? Roles of political philosophy in societies. Point 1. Role of political philosophy in role of political philosophy in role of political philosophy in societies. Role of political philosophy in societies. Under it we will discuss 3 points. Point 1. Point 1, practical. Point 2. Point 1, practical. Point 2, orientation. Point 3. Point 3, probing the limits. Probing the limits. Probing the limits. Next, reconciliation. Fourth, reconciliation. Fourth, reconciliation. Point 1, practical. Point 2, orientation. Point 3, probing the limits. And point 4, reconciliation. This is the crux of John Rawls theory. So please understand it. Next, practical. Under it we will discuss practical. Point 1, practical. Under it we will discuss practical. Under it we will discuss point 1, first role. Point 1, first role. Point 2, point 1, first role. Point 2, finding basis of reasoned agreement. Finding basis of reasoned agreement. Reasoned agreement. Point 2, point 3, Point third, sharp division with society. Sharp division with society. Sharp division with society. Got my point, Mr. Kara? So let's move on. Sharp division with society. Next, threat of conflict due to division. Fourth, threat of conflict threat of conflict threat of conflict due to division it means understood. Practical underrated we will discuss first rule, second finding basis of reasoned agreement, third sharp decision with sharp society. Next, threat of conflict due to division. Next point. Next point. Next point, orientation. Orientation. Next, orientation. Under it we will discuss orientation. Under it we will discuss second rule, point 1. Second rule, point 2. Point 2, helped citizen find their place. Help citizen find their place. Find their place. Help citizen find their place. Next point, within their own social world. Within their own social world. Help citizens find their place within their own social world. Next point, suggest broader understanding. Point third, suggest broader understanding of history. Suggest broader understanding of history and nature. Suggest broader understanding of history and nature. Next, within their own social world. Next point, probing in limits. Probing so next point, probing the limits. proving the limits under it we will discuss proving the limits under it. Point 1, proving the limits. Third rule, point 2, point 1, third rule. Point 2, describe political arrangement. Describe political arrangement. Describe political arrangement. Mr. F6, please just understand it. Describe political arrangement of gaining support of gaining support from real people, gaining support from real people. Next point, that is the key, political arrangement, gaining support from real people. Next is reconciliation. What is reconciliations? Reconciliation under it we will discuss. Point 1, reconciliation. Fourth rule, point 2, shows that human life is not human life is not simply domination, cruelty and prejudice. Folly and corruption. Next, folly and corruption. That is the key element. First, the rule shows that human life is not simply dominations and cruelty, prejudice, folly and corruption. Next is, got my point? Next, John Rawls was an American political philosopher. John Rawls was an American John Rawls was an American political philosopher. American political philosopher in the liberal tradition. In the liberal tradition. In the liberal tradition, the theory of justice is the theory of justice is the theory of justice is regarded as the most regarded as the most regarded as the most important contribution of important contribution of John Rawls. Of John Rawls. Understood, Mr. Rohit? So it is most important factor, all of you. So please understand it. Next, John Rawls was an American political philosopher in the liberal tradition. In the liberal tradition, the theory of justice is regarded as the most important contributions of John Rawls. Next point. Theory shows a path of unity. Next. His theory shows a path of unity. A path of unity. Theory shows a path of unity for nation. For nation. For nation in which citizen held different and contradicting worldviews and contradicting worldviews. Understood? His theory shows a path of unity. For nation in which citizens held a different and contradicting worldviews. Different and contradicting worldviews. Understand? Next, all the works of John Rawls All the work of John Rawls were written with were were written with two purpose in mind. Two purpose in mind. Two purpose in mind. Two purpose in mind. Point 1, setting the conflict in democratic thought. Point 1, settling the conflict in settling the conflict in democratic thought democratic thought between liberty and equality. Liberty and equality. Democratic thought between liberty and equality. Next, describing the limit of civic and point 2. Point 2, describing the limit of civic describing the limits of civic and international civic and international toleration. International toleration. Civic and international toleration. Rawls differentiate political Next point. Rawls differentiate political philosophy Rawls differentiate Rawls differentiated differentiated political philosophy political philosophy Rawls differentiated political philosophy from applied moral philosophy. From applied moral philosophy. Applied moral philosophy. In general, moral philosophy, applied moral philosophy. It is important, it is a distinguished lines. Applied moral philosophy. Next, in general, the utilitarian holds in general, utilitarian hold to one universal moral principle, universal moral principle which is applied which is applied to individual action, to individual action, political constitution, individual action. In general, utilitarian holds to one universal moral philosophy, universal moral principle which is applied to individual action. Next, political constitution, international resolution, political constitution, international relation, international relation, political constitution, international relation, and all other subjects required, and all other subjects required. All other subject required. Political constitution, international relation required. Next point. But the philosophy of Rawls has no universal principle, has no universal principle, has no universal principle. But the philosophy of Rawls. Next point. Understood? According to Rawls, according to Rawls, according to Rawls, according to Rawls, imposing of unified law imposing 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 of a unified law of a unified law imposing of a unified law on a diverse citizens on a diverse citizen on a diverse citizens raised to fundamental raised to fundamental raised to fundamental issues of legitimacy and stability. Stability. Legitimacy and stability. Two fundamental issues, diverse citizenry, sorry for these words, so please just understand it. These issues are next. These issues are at least these issues are these issues are these issues are at least as important in Indian context as important in Indian context as important in Indian context today, if not today, if not more, today if not more, so as they were as they were, so as they were for American for American for American context than American context than American context than next point, legitimacy. Legitimacy. Legitimacy, under it we will discuss the first issue in implementation. The first issue in implementation the first issue in implementation of the uniform got my point? Law is the issue of law is the issue of law is the issue of legitimacy like the issue of legitimacy, the legitimacy use of the legitimacy use of coercive use of coercive use of coercive political power. Coercive political power. Implementation of the uniform. Next point. In democracy, political power in democracy political power is in democracy political power is always the power of political power is always the power of the people political power is always the power of the people. Power of the people as a collective body, as a collective body. Political power is always the power of the people as a collective body. This is the most distinguished line to quote it when you write the questions of John Rawls theory. Got my point? Next, the power is often held the power is often held this power is often held this power is often held by the by the representative representative of the people. This power is often held by the representative of the people. Next, the issue arises because the citizen the issue arises the issue arises because the citizen hold the citizen hold because the citizen hold different worldviews different worldviews different worldviews and uniform law and uniform law. Citizen hold different worldview hold different worldviews and uniform law. Next point, force all the citizen to follow forces all the citizens forces all the citizens to follow one law to follow one law irrespective 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 of their worldview worldviews irrespective of their worldviews one law. Next point, stability. stability. And already we will discuss stability. The second issue in implementation of the uniform law. The second issue in implementation of the implementation of the uniform law is the issue of stability. Is the issue of stability. Issue of stability. The issue looks at political power, next. The issue looks at the this issue looks at the political power from receiving political power from political power from the receiving end, from the receiving end. Next point. This issue arises because citizens this issue arises because citizens have belief beliefs held by the representative making law. Next point. In such a case, willingly obedience of the law imposed by the representative representative becomes difficult difficult. Representative become difficult. Next, in Indian context, in Indian context, in the Indian context, in the Indian context, in the Indian context, the example can include, in Indian context, can, in Indian context, example can include can included example can included ban on beef, ban on beef, ban on beef, comma, and alcohol, and alcohol, 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 alcohol. Next point, without the willingly to obey the law, without willingly obey the law, without willingly obey the law, no social order, no social order can be stable for long, can be stable for long. Next point, Rawls address the issue of legitimacy. Next point, Rawls addresses the issue of Rawls addresses the issue of legitimacy and stability of stability, legitimacy and stability. Within this theory, within this theory of political of political liberalism, of political liberalism, legitimacy and stability. Rawls addresses the issues of legitimacy and stability. It means that only to understand Mr. Rawls, John Rawls always stress on legitimacy and stability. Next point. Political liberalism. Political liberalism answer political liberalism answer the conceptually prior question of legitimacy question of legitimacy and stability question of stability legitimacy and stability. So fixing the context, so so fixing the context and starting point of justice starting points of justice as fairness for justice as fairness. Context and starting stability, legitimacy and stability is a key. Next point. According to Rawls, according to Rawls, according to Rawls, according to Rawls, political power should only be used political power should only be used political power should only be used in ways that all citizens can reasonably be expected to endorse expected to endorse expected to indoors. Political power should only be used in ways that all citizens on reasonably be expected to indoors. That is the important line. This is the most important line to quote in the middle of the sentence. Next point. Rawls puts forward Rawls puts forward Rawls Rawls puts forward at principle for at principle for ordering the international basic structure international basic structure. Point 1. Next point. Peoples are free and independent. Peoples are free. Peoples are free and independent. Peoples are free and independent, and their freedom and their freedom independence are to be respected by other people. By other people. By other peoples. Next, people are to observe. Peoples are free and independent. Most important. Next point. People are to observe treaties. People are to observe treaties observe treaties and undertaking Next point. People are to observe the duty of non-interventions. People are to observe people are to observe the duty of non the duty of non the duty of non intervention. The duty of non intervention. Next point. Point 2. Peoples have a right of self defense. Have a right. Peoples have a right of self defense. Self defense. Peoples have a right of self defense, but no right to instigate. But no right to instigate. But no right to instigate war for reason. War for reason other than self defense. Other than self defense. Right of self defense, but no right to instigate war for reason other than self defense. Next point. Peoples are to honor human rights. Peoples are to honor peoples are to honor peoples are to honor human right. Human right. Peoples are to honor human right. Next point. Peoples are to honor human right. Peoples are to observe certain specific. Peoples are peoples are to observe peoples are to observe certain specified peoples are to observe certain specified restriction in the conduct of war. 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 Next point. Peoples have a duty to assist other. Peoples have the duty to assist other peoples have the duty to assist other peoples other people living under unfavorable condition unfavorable condition unfavorable condition that prevent their that prevent their having a just or decent political and social regime. Have a decent political and social regime. Unfavorable condition. Next point. Rawls described the fundamental interest of people Rawls describes the Rawls describes the fundamental Rawls describes the fundamental Rawls describes the fundamental interest of people fundamental interest of people as follows. Point 1. Protecting the political independence, protecting the protecting the protecting the protecting its political independence its territory the security of its citizen and the security of its citizen and the security of its citizen of its citizens security of its citizens. Next point. Point 2. Security of its political independence. Point 2. Maintaining its political and social maintaining its political and social political and social institution and its civic culture and its civic culture political and social institution and its civic culture. Got my point? Mr. Misanju, please understand this point and write very clearly, and with that you can read in a lucid way and write something very correct way. That's good for you. Next, securing its proper self-respect. Securing its proper self-respect. As people which rest on its citizen awareness of its history, citizen awareness citizens awareness of its history and culture accomplishment its history and culture accomplishment. Next point. Rawls says it is a mood by the desire to enlarge. It is a mood it is a mood it is a Rawls says it is moved by the it is moved it is moved by the it is moved by the desire to enlarge enlarge It is moved by the desire to enlarge its territory, its territory, its territory, its territory, enlarge its territory, or to convert, or to convert, or to convert, or to convert other societies, other societies, other societies to its religion, to its religion, or to enjoy the power of, or to enjoy the power of, enjoy the power of ruling over others, ruling over others, others. It is moved by the desire to enlarge its territory or to convert other societies, its religion, or to enjoy the power of ruling over others. It is the distinguished line by Rawls. So please understand it. Tomorrow I will teach you emotional intelligence. What is it and what is the effect on society, individual and business and in bureaucracy. So please, thank you so much all of you. Just enjoy your life and be happy always. Thank you so much.